What's up everybody, it's Simon from Lake Hub, and today we're in northeastern Oklahoma exploring Grand Lake of the Cherokee, aka Grand Lake. Not the Grand Lake that's in Colorado, not Grand Lake St. Mary's in Ohio, but Grand Lake in Oklahoma. Grand Lake is over 46,000 acres. It's a huge lake. It has over 1,300 miles of shoreline to explore, and it sits pretty much right in between Tulsa, Oklahoma and Joplin, Missouri, about an hour and a half from each. A Grand Lake was made from the Neosho River, aka the Grand River, in the 1930s and 40s. The lake was created in order to generate power for the Cherokee Nation in northeastern Oklahoma. Now, in order to do that, it took 3 dams, 2 small ones and 1 big one, the Pensacola Dam, which is over 5,000 feet. That's nearly a mile long, and it is the longest multi-arch bridge in the world. As far as fishing goes, fishing is not just fantastic here, it's next level. It is legendary. Besides being known as the crappie fishing capital of the world, Grand Lake is often host to huge bass tournaments. Besides all the frequent regional and kind of regular tournaments, recently we've had stops on the MLF Tour, Major League Fishing, including Red Crest, which is like the Super Bowl of MLF, as well as US Open qualifiers. It has all the fish that you expect in a southern lake, largemouth bass that are just fantastic, crappie, white bass, catfish, all the good stuff. As far as camping, there is a ton of camping around Grand Lake. I'm at Bernie State Park right now, kind of the northwestern side of the lake. Boat ramp, lots of camping. In fact, it's wide open right now because it's a little bit of a heat wave. We got a summer heat wave going on, heat advisory. Not a lot of folks camping, don't blame them. There are some shady spots, but still, there's a place to swim right over here behind me, but still, it's darn hot. It's 102. Heat index must be 106 or 7, maybe more. It's hot. It does cool off most of the year. We are in the foothills of the Ozarks. We're kind of getting out of the hilly area, so I wouldn't call these mountains. I'd call these hills. A little on the elevation. This isn't western Oklahoma, plateau plains. So it's going to get colder in the winter time than it does in other parts of Oklahoma, but it's not going to get super duper cold. It's not usually going to get super duper hot either. Besides the state park, there are well over a dozen places to camp around this lake between, private campgrounds and RV parks, public places like this. Great place to camp. As far as boating goes, there's over a dozen very well improved boat ramps as well. And there's a dozen marinas. There's a lot of stuff going on here. There's a lot to love about Grand Lake. There's a lot of amenities. It's a big place, but there are towns in and around. It's very akin to Cedar Creek Lake down in Texas. For you birders, you will see bald eagles here in the wintertime, which is pretty cool. Some eagles will winter up here, and there are plenty of other birds too. If you like wheeling or mudding, 4x4, rock crawling, all that kind of stuff, you have to check out the Big Meat Run. The Big Meat Run is below the dam. There's this whole, kind of off-road, off-highway vehicle, OHV, mess around area with trails and all kinds of stuff down below the dam along the river. And the Big Meat Run usually happens in the springtime, and it's massive. Thousands of people for sure, hundreds of vehicles, everything from 4-wheelers, side-by-sides, to just crazy, backyard made rigs, and all the way up to monster trucks going through massive, huge mud pits and all kinds of craziness. It's a whole weekend of just mud. That's Grand Lake. I hope you come up and visit, because eastern Oklahoma is this whole chain of lakes, and it is just awesome country. There's everything from prairie to pines and all kinds of cool stuff in between. Lots of history in this area, And if you need some help planning your trip, go to grandlake.com. I'll put a link down below. You'll have a map of all the boat ramps, of all the marinas, of all the campgrounds and everything else. I'm Simon from Lake Up, and we'll see you next time.